If we're gonna do a video and act like you're playing a game, can we at least have the controller on? Can we at least have the controller on, man? Look, this is the controller you give your younger brother, and you're like, yeah, you're playing with me. Good for you. Oh my god. Look, 2K Loki needs to pass the reins a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. But hey, 2K also makes a dope game. That's the other thing. Play 2K or NBA. 2K, bro. You ain't playing no NBA. I hope Skate is good, or else EA, bro. I think I'm not gonna say they're done, but bro, they're gonna be in hot shit because Madden's been the fucking same forever. It's just, let's get to the video.
Someone wants to play a virtual game of NBA basketball. What game do they play?
2K.
Do friends ask each other to come over and play live, or come over and play 2K?
2K.
If you caught a friend playing NBA Live, you'd probably make fun of them. Your first question to them would probably be, why?
Like all you NBA fans, like NBA game fans, what would you actually say? Like, honestly, I'd laugh. I'd be like, bruh, was it free? Were they running a free special and you're just trying it out? What's going on? Because I ain't never talked to nobody and they like, yeah, bro, I got that new NBA Live, dude. No, I'm about to hit the park in NBA Live. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. I don't even know if they have a park type thing anyway. So
it wasn't always this way, however. When Electronic Arts released NBA Playoffs in 1989, they created one of the most successful franchises in the history of video games.
That hurts my eye.
Later called NBA Showdown, and in 1994 dubbed NBA Live. The greed and corruption got in the way. Ironically, Live's best shot at returning is to capitalize on its competitors' greed and corruption. But it's likely too little, far too late.
It's like, yo, EA's been going down the tube with kind of all their stuff. Madden has been the same, and it's obvious they do zero to little to improve that game. So, all right, this is what we came for, man.
In
this
late
is what we came for.
2004, EA and the NFL signed an exclusive rights agreement, meaning EA was the only company allowed to make NFL games. This essentially killed off NFL 2K, shifting 2K's focus almost exclusively towards their NBA game. Electronic Arts now had the pressure of making the exclusive NFL game, as well as FIFA, MVP Baseball, NASCAR, NHL, and of course NBA Live. 2K, on the other hand, only had to focus on their baseball, hockey, and basketball games, with almost their entire dev team being dedicated to NBA 2K. With NFL 2K out of the picture, NBA 2K already agreed.
I used to love
only going
the
to get
2K
better,
baseball.
while NBA
That
Live was going to get less attention.
But now the
With a
show
new
blows
console
that out the
generation
water. I
coming,
don't even think they
NBA
make
Live's
that no
future
more, right?
wasn't looking great. Not only that, but 2K had released all their sports games at
Chat, he ain't even playing. Yo, bro, if we're gonna do a video and act like you're playing a game, can we at least have the controller on? Can we at least have the controller on, man? Look, this is the controller you give your younger brother, and you're like, yeah, you're playing with me. Good for you. Oh my god. At least turn it on, man.
just $20 that year, so the player base of NBA 2K rose exponentially. The pressure was on EA. NBA Live 06 released on the Xbox 360 as the first NBA Live game on the next generation of consoles. However, NBA Live 06 was bad. While 06 was pretty good on the previous generation of consoles, it was clear what direction the series was heading towards. I made a video on Madden 06's development and how the game was awful on 360 but great on PS2. The same can be said for NBA Live. The only difference was that NBA Live had competition. If you sold your PS2 or Xbox 4 and Xbox 360 and you got NBA Live 06, you would have been incredibly disappointed. And
so like, the graphics ain't terrible, right? But back then, I'm not gonna say I remembered it, but like this PS2 graphics, you were like, damn, that looks good as hell. You know what I'm saying? So now, man, It's just wild. It's just wild. Sometimes you can barely tell that a game's a game.
And you likely would have jumped ship and bought NBA 2K6. NBA 2K6 released on the 360 as well, and while the game wasn't anything crazy, 2K was able to port over most of their game from the previous generation of consoles and build upon that foundation, while Live started completely fresh. This was the first year that NBA 2K was objectively better than NBA Live. NBA Live 06 was pretty, as the HD graphics looked great at the time, but that's about all the game had going for it. Frame rate issues, awkward animations, and many features were just lost. After years of upgrading and innovating the franchise mode, it was completely dropped in the next-gen version of Live 06. It was still in the previous gen version and still very good, but it was only a matter.
Bro, EA, so I really hope when Skate comes out, I really hope that they fine-tune how they do whatever the career mode is going to be. Because EA's career modes are fucking awful. Madden's career mode, awful, man. I've played FIFA's. They had one good one that was okay when they brought women's soccer into it. I forgot what year that was, but other than that, buns. Other than that, it's buns. The thing about 2K, man, 2K brings you into a whole experience, bro. It used to be better. I'm not gonna lie. The 2K career experience used to be 10 times better, but it's a whole experience, and then that incorporates how you do in the park and shit like that too. Sick. It's sick, but EA struggles. It's clearly, when you listen to this, struggles with career modes across the board.
NBA Live 07 was not only a bad game on 360 and PS3, but it was also a bad game on the PS2. How did they mess that up? Live 07 brought back the franchise mode as well as other requested features such as the dunk contest, but they were straight ports from the PS2 version. The dunks were identical, the exact same animations with no change. Gameplay was neglected despite being the biggest issue with 06, and even got worse in some areas. This was the game that showed live players that EA didn't care about their once beloved basketball franchise. The franchise that helped build EA Sports from the ground up back in 1989 was now pushed to the back burner. And for what? Madden and FIFA weren't even good games on the next-gen consoles at this point in time. It was a kick to the stomach. Of course, 2K continued to push the envelope and took on the role that formerly belonged to NBA Live. Live sales were dropping, but the game was still selling well based on name recognition. EA shifted their focus towards maintaining those numbers rather than producing an actual good game. Instead of fixing the core issues of NBA Live, EA tried to add cool back-the-box features to help advertise the game. Sound familiar? NBA 2K was quickly becoming the NBA game of choice for players and critics. NBA Live 08 and 09 were better, but still not anything great or even good, while NBA 2K kept improving and was becoming a fantastic series.
True, you can 100%
in 2009,
see that
something
too.
Amazing happened for EA. Mike Wang, a former 2K employee who was one of the main reasons NBA 2K was taking off, left 2K to join EA and help develop NBA Live 10. On why Wang left 2K, he said, "I was looking at where NBA Live was, and I felt like they were behind us in a lot of ways. I was also looking at my own team and thinking, there's some things I wish we could do differently. We could be
Fortunately, he didn't help out, did he?
My twisted thinking was, if I could go to EA and I could shore up gameplay, then maybe there'd be this really heated rivalry between 2K and Live again, and it would push the basketball genre forward." Wang was...
And that's the problem too, man. Like with Madden, there's no one else making these damn games. It's just EA. So they're not forced to like progress on how the game looks and feels and different type of career stuff, and they're not forced to do that because they don't got to compete with anybody. Now, if Madden decides to be like, "Hey man, y'all ain't doing nothing for us. We're gonna go find a different developer to do this," they're in trouble. But who knows? Who knows how that's gonna go? But on the other hand, 2K, I think they've fallen into that trap now with 2K. That's why it's been very stagnant. I mean, 2K's it's the same game for sure now. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Clearly a difference maker. NBA Live 10 was actually really good. No longer could you hold sprint and dunk every possession. AI was
What's
vastly
the fault
improved,
here?
animations were improved, presentation was improved, and the game was a huge success. The live versus Mike Wang left EA right after the release of NBA Live 10 and he went back to 2K. This was huge news at the time, almost as big as a major coach leaving his new team for his former team. 2K fans were delighted by the news, while Live fans were not happy to say the least. However, NBA Live 10 was pretty good, so how badly could EA mess this up? Really badly, it turns out.
I remember.
It's almost impressive how badly EA screwed up. They killed NBA Live. They killed it. They decided to change the name of NBA Live 11 to NBA Elite 11 and screwed up so bad that they thought it would be smarter to go right back to NBA Live for next year. What exactly happened? So Mike Wang left, went back to 2K, and helped them create arguably the greatest NBA game ever made, NBA 2K11. EA
They just paid they sent that man as an informant, bro. What are they doing? Tell us what they're doing and set them back. Just set them back. Okay. He was an informant.
now had the pressure of trying to improve upon their first good game in a while, Live 10, without Mike Wang. Instead of building upon what Wang created and gradually improving like 2K had been since the Dreamcast, EA did what EA always does and decided to throw away what worked and try something brand new from scratch. First, the name change. Longtime NBA Live fans were unhappy. What was wrong with the name Live? It was iconic. And why did Mike Wang leave? What is EA doing? The name change wasn't even close to the worst part of all of this. They completely redesigned the controls. Gone were the days of pressing buttons to pass or shoot. Now everything was analog, sticks, triggers. How do you even do anything in this game? Passing the ball, shooting the ball. Normally easy things became tedious and impossible for new players. The game released a demo for people to try before release and it became infamous. One YouTuber named Mr. Lux released a video of a glitch where Andrew Bynum T-poses at center court. It was labeled the Bynum Jesus glitch. Another glitch had Luol Deng draining any shot from a certain part of the court. Besides that, the game was a complete mess, so much so that EA didn't even release it. It was
the
delayed
graphics don't
and
even
then
look good
canceled.
at all.
Live 10 got roster updates instead. All this, while 2K dropped their best game to date. At Live's peak, the game was fun and easy to play. Anyone could pick up a controller and start using their favorite players. Maybe that's why EA changed the name to NBA Elite, because it no longer was NBA Live. They had NBA 2K12 dropped, however, and it was another amazing
That
game.
one was fire too.
NBA Live fans were disappearing by the second. So of course, when it was announced that EA was working on NBA Live 13, hardcore fans of the series were excited. They brought back the name Live. EA claimed that Live 13 would focus on being an all-new experience that captures on the future of basketball. No one knew what that meant, but it sounded cool. Unfortunately, EA ended up canceling Live 13 due to the game's development being a disappointment. EA said that next year's game would have a huge focus on quality, as that would be their main goal. And just like that, it had been 3 years since the last NBA Live game. Unfortunately, NBA Live 14 was really bad. It was a glorified demo, a hollow shell of what was once a great franchise. Player models were atrocious. You'd be better off playing Live 10, massive clipping problems, ugly animations, nothing to do in the game, it was a mess. The Dynasty mode was so bad that you could trade Prime KD straight up for Darren Williams. In the Game Informer review of the game, writer Matt Burtz claimed that in his Dynasty mode, the Hawks won the title, led by Martell Webster. There was no logic to the game. It had a mode called Rising Star, which was EA's attempt at creating a My Player type of mode, but it was terrible.
To be real though, like, I don't know how they do these simulation, the sim things and what algorithm they work on. Because sometimes that happens on everything. So I'm not gonna hold that part against them. But bro, you can drastically see the difference in like their quality as far as graphic wise. I mean, 2K just look better too. I remember actually playing NBA Live, man. That shit was ass. I got it for free, so it might have been $10. So don't bully me for playing that dumb shit now. But 2K is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of getting. You know what? All these companies are falling into that kind of same thing though. I'm having this issue with my love for Star Wars, man. Star Wars, they're just relying mainly on that brand name. The thing is, when that wears out, what do you have? You know what I'm saying? And NBA Live found that out pretty damn quick. 2K, it's gonna take a minute because 2K, one, they've built such a trust, but also you got motherfuckers breaking the bank when that game releases. You know what I'm saying?
Terrible. The game was as bad as everyone thought Elite 11 would have been if it released, but it was worse because EA took over 3 years to make the game. People were waiting this long, and for what? NBA Live 15 and 16 were more of the same, critically panned, and nothing worth playing. This was while 2K was in its prime, with 2K16 being another entry that many would call one of the greatest 2K games ever made. The trailers for NBA Live looked promising, and many players who loved NBA Live when they were younger were curious, hoping, wishing the series would return to being somewhat respectable. Live was cancelled yet again, with NBA Live 17 not releasing. It was pretty much over for Live at this point. Live 18 released several days before NBA 2K18, and for
Alright, this was the last one I played. It wasn't terrible. So, NBA Live 18 was not terrible. But I for sure as hell didn't enjoy it as much as I did 2K. 2K blew this one out the water. Like, obviously. But yeah, this one wasn't awful. But it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying?
$20 less too. The game introduced a new career mode where you could take a player through the streets or the league, and it got much better reviews than any Live game had since Live 10. Live 19 released the next year, and it was also a good improving game. However, it was too little too late. The games weren't good enough to sway too many people over from 2K, and Live had become a meme. Their brand was tarnished.
That's what I mean, man. You keep releasing dumb, bad shit, mid shit. Once the consumer's like, yeah, I'm not going to spend my money on you anymore, it's going to be really hard to convince us to come back. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Madden. Madden is very close, I would say, to getting to that level. So we will see.
Live 18 and 19 were not bad games at all. They even do a few things better than NBA 2K does. They started innovating again, being the first game to offer the WNBA, and still the only game that lets you create female players in career mode. But overall, Live is still worse than 2K. They have the same flaws as every other sports game EA makes, and despite not being microtransaction riddled, the core game just isn't there. And even if it was, NBA Live's brand is so tarnished that it likely would never be able to beat 2K. While 2K is getting worse in many areas, Live still hasn't gotten to their level. But for the future of basketball video games and based on the direction 2K is trending, NBA Live needs to get it together. 18 and 19 have promise, and now the Live team is taking another hiatus to work on the core game. They have to come out with a good product next time around, or else it's over, if it isn't already. It's no surprise that NBA 2K is so intertwined with popular culture. The only people playing NBA Live these days are longtime fans of the series who miss what they once had and are trying to force themselves to like it. Or 2K
I would love to
players
know
fed
how
up
much
with
they sold last year.
microtransactions, cheese, and server issues in modern 2K games. These players always go back to 2K, however, because NBA Live simply isn't real competition. Give it a shot. I didn't even buy 2K until Christmas time. NBA Live's The One mode is actually pretty good. While the career part of the mode isn't as immersive or in-depth as 2K's, the fact that you start out as a 70 overall and develop quickly is huge. The online aspect in Live is
Yo, bro. Like, so if you don't, 2K is so pay to win. Actually, that is their major issue. 2K, I actually really enjoy playing 2K. Am I good? Fuck no, I'm not good. But bro, grinding, playing that shit with your boys is fun. But bro, to get anywhere in that game, man, you gotta put hours in that shit. And that's the downfall of that, because it's so hard to level up. Then you're just kind of forced to buy shit. You know what I'm saying? So.
arguably better than 2K's. While there isn't a neighborhood to run around in, or your own apartment, or any.
But the neighborhood thing is chef's kiss. I love the neighborhood. That's why this game won't stand a chance until they find some way to do some type of neighborhood type shit. they're not going to stand a chance against them. Neighborhood's lit, you man.
Any of the cool flashy parts of my career, Live has easy to join online matches of 3v3 and 5v5 that are a ton of fun. In 2K, it can take forever to simply get into an online game and park. That's not an issue in Live.
That's true.
And with Live, you can develop a player really fast, meaning you won't and actually can't feel inclined to spend real money to upgrade your player enough to be competitive online. Would NBA Live be microtransaction riddled if it was the only or the top NBA game? No doubt about it. But because it's the underdog, EA is trying to capitalize on 2K's greed by offering a humble, non-pay-to-win game. In fact, if all you do in 2K is play Park, and you're getting fed up with the game, Live might actually be better for you. Unfortunately, however, switching to Live completely is nearly impossible. For one, because Live 20 was delayed, the rosters are outdated, and the game doesn't feature the current rookie class. Another important thing to understand is that no one plays Live. If a friend comes over, they will likely laugh at you if you ask them to play it with you. Because of the overwhelming popularity of 2K, it's going to be unlikely that you'll have any real-life friends that will play with you. And of course, most importantly, Live isn't as good of a basketball game as 2K is. The gameplay, while not being bad, it's not as good. Its league's better than Live used to be, but it's not close to 2K. It does some things better, but it's not better overall. Beyond gameplay, franchise mode is a joke, and we aren't even going to compare it to My League. Player models look bad, jerseys have mistakes in them, arenas don't change when you give a team city uniforms. Despite having the ESPN license, presentation is really bad. The game simply lacks attention to detail, which is something 2K has nailed year after year. If you want to see why 2K is so far ahead of Live, all you need to do is fire up a game of play now. That said, Live 18 and 19 have proved to be big steps forward for Live. Unfortunately, they suffer from the same core issues as games like Madden, FIFA, and NHL. But Live 19 shows promise.
Alright, you get the point. Look, if EA wants their franchises to continue to do, semi-well and to improve, bro, they're gonna have to listen for one, man. I mean, they definitely have pros that they can literally talk to. Madden is another prime example, bro. How long have we been clamoring, begging for a career mode that's kind of like the 2K one? Why do y'all just not want to do it? I wondered why. Anyways, yo. Anyways, yo, man, that's going to be the end of that video, man. I would appreciate y'all if y'all like and subscribe and all that YouTuber jargon I gotta fucking say. And yo, I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one. Make sure y'all spot for cheat sheet. Keep the thumbs freaking up. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.